Hey, this is Bree with Cosmic Siren. Welcome to the Siren Pod. This is a safe space for quirky and curious souls who wish to connect more deeply with others, themselves, and the world around them, and who believe in magic. I know everyone is unique and has their own special path. My goal is to help you trust your inner voice and live life to the tune of your soul. In today's episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about synchronicities, especially when it comes to meeting people and connections. In my last episode, I was pulling some cards and I was alluding to soul connections, meeting other people, finding more people that are aligned with where you are, depending on your journey, and some of those connections having a more expansive connection. It's hard to describe. It's, calling them a friend or a lover seems to diminish or kind of restrict the meaning of what they mean. Like these people, there's a bigger connection here, something you can't really explain. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to talk to you about an experience I've had recently. So I've met several people that I knew intuitively, that our souls were familiar with each other through other incarnations, other lifetimes, and all at varying levels. Just to give you an example so you understand where I'm coming from, I wanted to talk to you about a situation I had fairly recently. And so that you guys can understand the signs to look out for and to trust your intuition and to not dismiss when you're having these feelings or thoughts of, hey, I want to get to know that person, but I wonder why. So I was at an event recently and I was at a table and I just happened to look up and I saw this person walk in. So at this event, you come and go, whenever. So I had been there maybe for at least 30, 40 minutes or so. And I look up and I see this person. And immediately I felt, I want to talk to that person. Something in me was like, I need to get to know this person. And mind you, this isn't a sexual attraction. One thing, I am asexual. I'm not sexually attracted to anyone, mind you. And I am sex positive. But anyway, so I knew this wasn't a sexual attraction, right? And for the most part, when I see people, they all seem similar to me, right? I don't really notice people too much. I notice them, but it doesn't pull me. It doesn't draw me. So when someone does draw my attention, their energy, I know to pay attention. Because I'm connected with myself, I know that it means something. I know that me having a conversation with this person is going to lead to some revelation, some meaningful encounter. And so I saw them, I thought this, and I was like, okay, I need to talk to them eventually. But then I saw them talking to one of my good friends. And that was just another confirmation. Oh, great, they're already connected. I can ask my friend about them. That's already happening. And through the evening, I kind of forgot about it, was chatting with others, and my friend connects with me and asks me to go outside the bar, just for a little bit, to do whatever. And so we go outside, and a couple other people join us. And of course, this person that I was drawn to joined us as well. And that was just another confirmation, yes, clearly we're supposed to connect in some way. And so, we're having a group conversation outside. And the more I hear from this person, the more I'm thinking yes, this makes sense why I'm drawn to them. Something about the way they talk, I can tell they're more spiritual in nature. I really like their energy. And there's just something where I'm I really need to get to know this person. I'm very drawn to this person. What is this? And so, conversations ends, people start going inside. I think they were on their way out, but I wanted to connect with them more. So I asked them, can we exchange info? And, usually I do that occasionally, but not often, right? Usually I'm just oh, I'll see them again later and we can exchange there. But this time I was no, I need to get their contact information because I feel I just need to, right? And so, but that's when I learned they're not even in the area. They were visiting. And so they're going back, to the other side of the country whenever they are, when they're done visiting. And so that makes sense then why I felt very called to get their contact information, because intuitively, clearly, I knew that this was an only chance type of thing, which I had not known before. And so we exchanged info, and I was going to this music festival event with my friend over the weekend, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to invite this person. Like, I need to have more conversations with this person. And so I asked my friend if it was okay. They said yes. And, I invited them, and they checked in on their schedule and they agreed. So anyway, they ended up coming to the music festival, and, we're all hanging out. And the more I talk to this person, it is apparent, like, why I was drawn to them, and, like, all the synchronicities. Like, it was insane. Like, our conversations, it was just like, this person's very spiritual, like me. And just everything about them was like everything that I was talking to a different friend before about, like, the type of people I'm looking to connect with more. Like, being in this, I think I told you guys, like, I moved to a new city, being in this space, like, I'm connecting with a lot of people, I'm trying to make friends. And I realized in the last couple weeks, the type of people I really want to connect with more, the people that I want more friends with. And it was a very specific type of energy. It was like spiritual energies, more queer energies, just more open energies, people that are just really intentional with, their actions, who they surround themselves with, like what they're eating. It was just like very specific things. And this person, like, had all that, like a more open queer energy, very spiritual. The topics that they were talking to me about, like, is everything that I'm experiencing. Like, I was telling them my views on life, the world, spiritual perspectives and what I've experienced. And they were telling me the theories that those are called. I didn't even know these were theories. Like, they were telling me, like, oh yeah, I've studied those theories. I've been contemplating those theories. So it was just interesting because we were able to connect that way. We were able to listen to each other's perspectives on, like, different ways of living in life and, like, theories about the world. And so we were able to, like, understand a concept better because of the perspective. Like, he was contemplating certain things, and I would tell him, like, yeah, this is what that is from my view. And then he would understand it more fully. And then the same way, my way. And it was just like little things that were coincidences. Like, like when you connect with someone and you find similarities, right? You're like, oh, they like this music, they watch these shows, same to me. Like, you connect on those things. But the very specific things that we connected on was, like, very specific, where it was like that combination of specific similarities was, like, important to me to find. So it was just interesting, right, that this person has all that. And of course, when I say interesting, I know that obviously this was meant, right? I was meant to meet this person and see this, but, like, they're really into animation, watch anime, which is important to me, right? But it's not even that. It's like they like this specific combination of things. Like, it's like kind of dark, weird, but beautiful, interesting, uplifting, thought-provoking, like, animations. Like, they sent me this video it was like Walt Disney and Salvador Dali, like a video I had not known about, and they sent it to me, and that was like a perfect culmination of, like, my weird interests together in one. It was just an interesting thing. They would recommend me, like, books and shows that were, like, perfectly, like, something that I was thinking about that I wanted to see, and they would recommend it to me. And it was just, like, interesting things like that. And then same, I had, like, books or, like, other things that I wanted them to read about because it was what they were talking about. And I was like, this will explain that perfectly for you. You need to read this book. And so it was just, like, messages after message after message. Like, clearly, like, the universe was speaking through this person to me, like, all these messages through this person, and then vice versa. And even just, like, physically, like, not that this is specifically romantic, but, for, like, people that are more masculine presenting, like, I do have, like, certain things, right? Like, I have a thing for people with long hair, tattoos, piercings, specifically, like, ear piercings or, like, a nose ring. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, a thing, right? It's just an extra thing. It's not, like, super important, but, it's just, like, when you, like, have not, like, a list of things that you would like someone to have, but, we have that metaphorical, like, checklist of things that, maybe standards or minimums, but then there's, like, extra, like, oh, this would be great. And, like, this person literally has all of that and the extra. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, like, this isn't just, like, a coincidence, right? When you meet people and they perfectly encompass everything that you ever thought and more, like, there's a reason for that, right? You're meant to connect with them in some way. And also, like, not even just physically, this person's, like, life, the way they're living, like, what they're embodying is, like, everything that I've been, like, thinking about. Like, for example, they are from a state similar to mine where they were surrounded by nature a lot. And, that was just, like, inherent, like, in the way of living. And then they moved to the city I'm in now, experienced that for a while, and then they went back out to a place where you can be by the ocean. And which is interesting because when I moved here to this city, I knew like, I'm going to move here. It's probably going to be a few years, but I know like deep down, like when I envision my life, like I see myself like by the ocean. Like I have a window by the ocean. I mean, I have to be by the ocean, right? I'm a siren. Like it's just ocean. And this person is living that right now. Like they are living there by the ocean, getting to be by the water, like in the forest. Like they are living that. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, this person's already living that. So just getting to hear about their experience and knowing that like, oh, these people that I connect with exist. I wonder where they're living. Like, yeah, of course, there's probably here in the city. I just need to meet them more. But also, like, it was just another like message. There might be other areas of the world in the States, not even in the States. It could be other countries, right? Because I want to live abroad one of these years. But it's just like the people that I'm looking for, the people I want to connect with, the people like me. Like, I wonder where they're living. Like, I wonder where they are. And it was just like another message. Like, hey, like the universe was like, people that you want exist. Here's one. They're not where you are now, but they exist, And it was just like a little tease too. I'm like, universe, why would you bring me this person that I literally been like waiting to connect with, like these types of people, but they don't even like live here, right? But, they say like they visit my city a lot because they have friends here. And so, that was a nice confirmation because, I do imagine like, I have friends that live in different states, different countries. And, I do see myself traveling the world and going to all these places. So, it's just like making another friend that lives in a different part of the world. I think it was like another way for the universe to say like, hey, like assess your current relationships. I think recently I've been contemplating like, as I'm building my community and my friends here, some of those friendships I feel more confident about, right? And some of them I don't. There's like this question of like, do they want to make time for me? Why don't they talk to me like a lot? I feel like the energy has shifted. I feel like they aren't making a lot of effort. Do they even enjoy spending time with me? Am I even like important to them? You know what I mean? And we can have those thoughts and they're valid, right? We have to feel through those feelings. Everyone has their own lives, other people. And it's like, but with this person, even though we had only hung out for a couple days, but this person, like the way I felt with them, the way they were very open, like with their thoughts and feelings, the way they were able to communicate openly, it was just like the universe was like, hey, like you've been kind of contemplating in your head, like the way you feel with certain people. And just so you know, like there are people that won't make you feel like this. And I think that was another reminder. And that's what I want to share with you. I think we can get stuck like where we are and surround ourselves with, the people that are in our environment. And we can feel a certain way, like if we're not feeling appreciated or if we're like always questioning what someone thinks about us, we can be like, oh, this must be in my head. Like, how do I work through this? And yeah, there are some things to work through. We have to be like secure in ourselves, work through our feelings. But also, I feel like this encounter with this person was just like a good reminder from the universe that was like, when you do meet aligned people, you're not going to feel that way. They're going to support you, make you feel uplifted, make you feel happy. And they're going to be able to communicate openly with you. And it's not going to be strange. They're not afraid to like express themselves with you. And you can connect with that. And of course, like it's normal to like have fights or disagreements with friends or lovers or whoever, here and there. But the overall energy, right? The constant energy should be higher, should be uplifting. I mean, I haven't felt this way in like a while. Like this person, their energy was very similar to mine, very like supportive and open and nurturing. And they were just very like, they express themselves more openly. And also, it also helped me realize that I need to express myself more openly. So for example, we've been hanging out, I'm getting to know this person and, in my head, right? Because I know, so this is what shit, I know what this person, I know it's a soul connection, right? And this is what I'll tell you. When you meet people, most people, you get to know them, right? You build trust, you build that comfort, right? You build something with them. And it takes time, right? For everyone's a little different, but it takes time. But there are the people though, I don't know if you've experienced this before, maybe you have, but there are some people when you meet them, instantly you are at home. You feel completely at home and comfortable with them instantly, and you don't even know who they are. Those are the soul connections. But these are people where the reason why it feels so comfortable and so at home, and you might be thinking like, wait, this is strange. Like, why do I feel this way? I'm more open to maybe physical affection with them. I'm more open to, sharing, vulnerable things about myself. and it's so fast, it's instant, right? And usually maybe it takes you more time. But with these people, it's instant. You intuitively know that they're safe, they're at home, and it's like you're familiar with them. And that's what I wanted to tell you, these soul connections. It's because your soul is familiar with them. Your soul already knows this other soul in other lifetimes, probably many incarnations, depending on the connection. And this one, I already knew instantly. I'm like, oh, I've been with you many lifetimes. That's how comfortable it was. And my human self is just catching up. And that's why in my last episode, I was saying, like, don't try to control or rush it. Like, your soul is so familiar with this other soul and your human self is just catching up. So you just got to ride the wave. And so that's what I was trying to do. I was just like, wow, it's great. I'm like, I have a soul connection here. It could be temporary, it could be not. Well, it's not. I feel like this one will be like at least a long-term friend, at least. Intuitively. That's my prediction, at least. So we'll see. I was like, wow, like I finally have the soul connection, like a very strong one, very strong. And they don't even live here. Like I can't even like explore it. I can't even like build on it. And so in my head, I was thinking like, this person will probably think it's weird if I want to go visit them and just hang out with them because we just met. And then literally, I kid you not, like literally within 10 seconds, this person's like, hey, you should come visit me. And I was like, wait, what? This is what I'm talking about. This person like is very openly communicates their thoughts and feelings. And I tend to hide mine, right? Because I feel like I feel very strongly, right? I'm very intuitive. Like I feel like there's things that I see and know that the other person may not. And I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, right? I'm never going to share these things with them. I'm never going to tell someone like, oh, my soul has known yours for many lifetimes, unless they happen to be very, very, very spiritual and were like similar to me. But in my case, in my life, it's not, right? Like for me, my experience so far is like I'm the one that's very spiritual and I'm teaching other people, right? I'm exposing them. That's my current life. However, recently in the last few weeks, I feel like I'm meeting more people more along my path where I can express these things to them. And so, well, I didn't express that part, the soul, just knowing each other, but he is someone that is more comfortable just sharing his thoughts and feelings. And, he actually like invited me. He's like, yeah, you should come visit. And I was like, wait, how serious is this person? But we talked about it. I wanted to share, like, when it's aligned, it's going to be easy. It's going to feel very easy. Like, just spending time with this person, getting to know them, and then, like, not having to question, like, oh, they are just in the city. We're just going to meet once. Like, that's all it is. Even though I was feeling like, wow, this is such a strong connection. It's going to be easy and it's going to feel easy because both people are going to be very open to it and not trying to define it, right? Like, it's not about this being like friends or romantic or like sexual or anything, right? It's like some people but me like, wow, you just met them. Like, why would you go visit them? You're crazy. Why would you do this? Why would you do that? But we're aligned, right? We both intuitively know, like, it's just an energy thing, right? We understand the connection. Like, no one else will understand, right? Only we will. We understand what we feel. We understand the connection. We enjoy the connection. And it's like, well, why not? Why not visit? Because we can. Like, it doesn't mean much. I mean, it does, right? It means something. We can't ignore all the signs and synchronicities. Like, even he said it. This is what I'm saying. Like, intuitively, I know these things. And he would say it out loud, even if he didn't really know what it meant. He's like, wow, we're really similar in certain ways. And I can see he's like kind of grasping what that means. To someone else, they might think like, oh yeah, similar, like we eat the same food and watch the same shows. No, I understood what he was saying. The very specific ways that we connect on, the very specific ways we are similar are very interesting. It's the very combination that makes it very interesting, which is why he said that. And for example, there's like a specific similarity we had that just can't be made up. So since I've been here in this city, like naturally, I've just become pescatarian. Like in the past, I don't have dairy. Dairy affects me, so I don't do dairy. And in the past, I would cook red meat and chicken and whatever because my partner would eat it, right? But since moving here, being alone, like I'm just naturally pescatarian. Like no dairy. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And then like I eat a lot of salmon. Salmon's my favorite, salmon and shrimp. But so at home, like I only have seafood and yeah, pescatarian. And I was telling him like, oh yeah, I'm pescatarian at home. But when I'm out, like if I'm eating with friends, restaurants, or if I go out, I'm open. Like, yeah, I'll lean toward pescatarian, but like if I want some pork, I'll eat some pork, like whatever, or I'll eat whatever. I'm more open. Like I'm not picky, right? But I'm still intentional with what I'm eating. And he literally was like, wait, I'm the same way. I'm like, what? He also is pescatarian at home. but just more open outside of it. That's just so random. Like, right? Not random, right? This makes sense. But in my head, I was like, well, it'd be nice if someone like thought the same way as me. Like, I've always been thinking about it. It'd be nice if people thought the same way as me. And he's someone that thinks very similar to me. There are people out there that share our same perspectives. And, we're not going to know unless we follow the nudge. If there's people out there that you meet and you're just like, wow, I just feel like I want to talk to this person. You don't need to explain why. Just follow the feeling. That's what I do. And all these things happen. When I have followed the feeling each time, amazing conversations happen. And that's what I wanted to share with you. It's like when you start trusting yourself, follow the tune of your soul. This is what I'm talking about, the tune of your soul, your intuition. You just follow it. I don't question it. Like, this is how my life is every day. I just follow the nudge. I follow my intuition. I follow these nudges of like, I need to talk to that person. And I don't even question it anymore. I'm just like, okay, I'll talk to them. And then it's like a surprise. I'm like, okay, universe, I'll listen to you. What do you have for me? And because of that, like, I had the most amazing conversations with this person. If I had never followed that nudge, we wouldn't have connected. And, and he was even telling me, he's like, there was another event that I was supposed to go to, but instead I chose to go to that event. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense because I'm there. Like, that's the way we were to connect. It's just very interesting. It's very interesting. I say interesting, but, I know. Like, this just makes sense. And so you don't need to ignore these synchronicities. If you ever meet people, follow the nudge. And if you have these conversations and you're like, wow, I was just thinking about this a few days ago and they're talking about it. Or, wow, I was just hoping to meet someone that liked this very specific niche hobby and they just happened to do that. Yes, that's not a coincidence. Like, how many times does something need to be a coincidence for you to be like, wow, this is actually like, this is a pattern. This is a synchronicity. And that's what I mean by synchronicities. They happen so often coincidentally, but these are patterns. You can assign meaning to them. Like, there is meaning. It's not just a coincidence that whatever I was thinking, he would just share out loud. And then that would spark a conversation. And then we would learn something. We would connect. And that's what it is. Like, these synchronicities, these patterns, it's the way the universe is talking to you, right? Like, the universe can't speak to us verbally, right? Someone that I watch, Energy, INNERG, on YouTube. That's what she says. Like, the universe doesn't have a mouth. It speaks through symbols and stuff. And that's what I'm saying. It's, maybe I'll do a podcast on clairs, but our clairs, it's like we have senses, right? We see things, we hear things, we smell, taste, touch. And your clairs are expanded versions of that, right? Like, when you hear clairvoyant, that's sight. People see things, right? Some of them actually physically see things, but some it's in your mind's eye, right? It's your imagination. And you have to start trusting your imagination. Some people hear things, right? Some people actually hear things, but sometimes it's in your mind. Sometimes it's music, right? Like, for me, my clairaudience is through music. Like, when I listen to music, there are specific messages in the songs that I will hear, and it will resonate deeply within me. And I'm like, oh, that was a message meant to find me. You can assign meaning to that. You don't have to keep dismissing it. That's the way the universe talks to you. Even for like, what do they call them? Sommeliers, the wine tasters. They have clairgustance, which is clear taste. They can taste things. Like, when they have that sip of wine, they can taste where the region is, the year, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's a tasting. That's an expanded version of taste. Do you ever smell something that's not actually there? Maybe you smelled someone's, like, your old grandparents' perfume, or maybe someone used to smoke something, but nothing's there. Nothing's around you, but it's just a sign that they're there. They're with you. There's a message. The universe has a way of, like, speaking to us. If you see angel numbers everywhere, maybe if you were thinking about something and then a car honks and it, like, you're like, oh, that's important. I need to pay attention. There are all these ways that the universe speaks through us. And that's why I wanted to tell you about the synchronicities when you meet people. There's a reason why you're drawn to someone. Like, ignore this. For you guys that feel sexual attraction, ignore the sexual attraction. There's an energy. If there's a longing, you're like, if it's not sexual, and it's not like I want to date them, you're just like, I really want to get to know this person. Or I just want to talk to them, maybe for 5 minutes. And it could just be that. Maybe there's a conversation you need to have someone. Maybe something will, like, spark within you. Something will make you have a revelation. And it's just like a 10-minute conversation. And then that's it. That's all it means. But sometimes there's soul connections. Sometimes these are these people that we are meant to, like, find in this lifetime. Maybe temporarily, like I said, for a couple years. Maybe you'll be friends. Maybe there'll be a mentor. it looks all differently for different people, but maybe they'll be lifelong friends. Maybe they'll be best friends. Maybe they'll be romantic partners. But there is a reason that we meet certain people in our lives. Yeah, so I just really wanted to share that. It was just something that has been weighing on me, and I really was like, I really need to share this so people understand. And, maybe in other episodes, I'll share with you, there's a few other people that I've met that were true soul connections, and I'll share with you, them. So you can understand the signs and synchronicities and understand the weight of the connection and how meaningful it can be. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with me. Let me know what resonated for you. If there's any topics you'd like me to talk about, if you want to continue connecting with me, I invite you to subscribe and get notified when I release a new episode. You can also join my Siren Pod weekly newsletter, where I share tips and advice. And as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, sending you warm wishes and soothing hums.